Have you ever wondered if everything's a scam? All these ideas of purpose that society throws at us are really just to keep the ball moving. And what I mean by that is that the idea of purpose we've constructed is more a means to keep humanity moving, like a roadmap. And while it's important to set goals, I'm trying to think deeper on this and just consider, what do we do that's actually authentic and true to us rather than based on an external purpose created by the world around us or by expectations. And ultimately, I'm going to get deep into this. I'm going to try and talk about how we could live practically in a world of lies or an illusion, ultimately. And I'll explain what I mean. So starting off, we all want the Ferrari, we all want the Porsche, but thinking deeper on that level, well, why do we want it? Damn, it's bright. And the reason we want it is ultimately to fulfill our egos, and our ego is just created by the external world based on how we reacted. And Carl Jung talks about the ego, self, and persona, and ultimately these are all vital, but the closer you get to truth, the closer you realize it's a false expression of yourself. And I'm talking as someone who's lived in the ego for 2 years. It was crucial to get the achievements I wanted to, and I guess to see success. But on a deeper level, I've been thinking, is this really the most authentic form? And I don't think it is. And on a more spiritual side, I really don't think there is any intrinsic purpose. But to that same note, I think we create the purpose. We could find purpose in things like actually contributing to humanity. Everything we do in our day-to-day lives, they're just contributions from other people, whether from years ago or whether they were done today, whether small or big. I think the ultimate goal is contributing, and that probably looks something like helping other people or even helping the people around us that we love. And goddamn, bro, it's really bright, so I'm squinting. But I think what I mean by a world of lies is everything we see online, it's social media, it's ads, followers, and likes. And maybe I'm biased because I do my work on social media, so I guess I probably see it more. But ultimately, a lot of it is a lie or unnecessary. The work that I tend to be proud of was helping other brands make designs or certain posts that maybe inspired people to create, and then I have conversations with those people. And I think ultimately we're looking for a purpose that isn't there. We're not gonna just find it. Everything we needed, we had from the start. Just our ability to experience and live life, I think that is kind of purpose. And of course, not everyone could experience this. Some of us are tied down by fear or doubt and actual needs. Some people need to make money to eat and live. But ultimately, the purpose of life is beyond just like being fed and having shelter. It's kind of like an animal. You're just living day to day, monotonous life, one day to get to the next day. And I recently read The Alchemist, so maybe that triggered some of these thoughts. I would say that ultimately we all have our own unique set of skills or unique goals, and subconsciously as ourself, we know what that is. We know what we're meant to do. And it's supposed to contribute to the world in a positive manner. So I think the hard part is really looking inwards and trying to figure how we can do that. And there are many ways. Some of us have a set course, whether you're in school and you're studying engineering, or even if you're in business, there are ways to do it authentically rather than just for money, rather than just to make a living, which is more surviving. And I think the ultimate goal is to achieve this degree of freedom that we could actually do what we really want. So I'd ask you this: if society had zero expectations of you, and let's say hypothetically, it's unrealistic, let's say everything was free in the world, well then what would you do? What do you want in the world? What do you want to see? Or even beyond that, what do you want to do? Because I think we're all fixated on the external. What are we going to get if we do this? I know I have been. A lot of what I've considered is like, oh, like I like doing this, but I also want to make money. So how can I pair it together? And I think we do need to be practical about life, but we also need to be fully authentic. For example, everything I've done in part has been to make money, which it's necessary. I want freedom, and I do want to be able to live a comfortable life. But beyond that, I think part of it stems from fears and doubts that if I do something else, what if it doesn't work out? And ultimately, I think if you're doing the right thing and you're actually contributing, well, then surely you're gonna see some money from it. You're gonna see some lifestyle. And I think we're all fixated more on status, just earning money, especially in the social media age. But I'm trying to say that it's all bullshit. The only thing that actually matters is if you're authentically yourself, and then you will find people that you naturally resonate with, rather than you have to put on a role and do a whole act, and you have to get your money and look like this big shot or whatever, which a lot of people now are striving to do. They're striving to become something. But what I'm trying to tell you is that there is nothing to become. It's a state of being. You've always been it. I've said it before, it's called self-actualization, not self-realization, because you're not realizing anything. It's always been there. All right, so I'm now editing. It's 1 a.m. and I realized the audio got cut off in the video, so I'll just get back to it. But figured to show, I climbed up, used that little box, climbed up to the top. Pretty nice view, but back to the point. Don't get me wrong, I don't think this is easy. I think everything in the modern world is sort of pushing us to feel like we're not enough, that we have to reach certain expectations or be earning X amount by a certain age. And while it's all practical, I think there is more to it than that. Even if you look, we live in a world of social media and ads and people online who might be trying to put out a well-meaning message, but usually they're just selling you some course or some agenda, or they want to sell you something, or even just their bias. And that could go for me too. Right now, I'm sharing my thoughts, and I hope it helps someone, but I urge you guys to think about it on your own rather than just to take my word for it, which I'm sure you would. My point is, everything in the world is trying to sell you to be more, and ultimately it just feels like we're trying to win an invisible race. We have the goals to get from point A to point B, but I think life is more about just experiencing the ebb and flow and enjoying all the moments that come in between, everything that builds you to the person you're meant to become or to the things you're meant to do. And maybe it's because I just reread The Alchemist, which I would definitely recommend you guys to read, but I think these are important ideas to juggle. The world is ultimately trying to create careers to stay operating or to function as it does, but the focus isn't on you becoming like an individual or doing what you're meant to do. And I think it's like we can't just escape it. That's not practical. But the practical way would be, I imagine, to contribute positively, to do something you enjoy, and to be able to make an earning out of it. So an example is even something that's small that affects a lot of people. That's still a contribution. Everything in the world, everything we do in our day-to-day, the ones that stick with us are the ones that actually contributed. Doing some accounting for some company, you're not really contributing, and I think it's for that reason that AI will be able to replace it. Stuff like that feels soulless. It feels like it takes everything from you. And at the end of the day, we're humans. We're created in the image of God. And we have this limitless potential, and I think it would just be a waste to squander it doing something we don't like for 30 or 40 years just to pay the bills and have food and shelter. Because that kind of feels like just being an animal. If you're living day to day, that's more surviving. And I'm not discounting anyone who has a career. I understand the world we live in is expensive and we have to make ends meet. But I urge you guys to try and figure what resonates the most with you. What's genuine, what feels right to your soul. And it might sound corny, but what feels right in your heart. If we take a step back, I think we could see what really matters. We can figure ways to enjoy the ride while actually making a positive contribution. And while it might not sound practical in the modern world, I'm pretty certain that if we act genuinely and authentically with ourselves, then you'll genuinely succeed and you'll make a proper living out of it. So maybe the point of life isn't something we have to get to or reach, like the world tells us, but maybe it's something we already had all along and we just have to live it through. And maybe if you don't know what that is, you got to look inwards and figure out what truly resonates for you. And I hope this helped escape the matrix. I think we live in a world full of matrices, everything from social media, online, gurus. I think it's all trying to tell you what to be, and ultimately, It's a world of illusions. I think we all have to figure out what matters to us and live it out, and just don't look back. Fear and doubt, as I mentioned, that's what will ultimately kill it. But I guess that's my thoughts. It's that we have everything we need, and that life in itself is a means to an end. It's not reaching an end. So I hope that helped, and I hope you guys stay tuned. I would really appreciate a subscribe, and I hope this resonated. I'd like to know in the comments, let me know how you feel about these ideas. Is this just airy-fairy, impractical, or do you think it would practically work for yourself? Or even beyond that, have any of you thought about this? Have any of you escaped the bullshit noise of the world? So I'm gonna be out, but get ready for me to drop kick the camera in a few seconds. And on that, peace guys, thanks for watching. I'm gonna be out. Later guys.
Whoops, I broke it. Oh well. Oh well, I drop kicked that.